Could I be any more excited? I don't think so.
Such a short time being alive. All this hardship inconvenience makes it so hard to make sense. Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Baby, I know it's just a matter of time before we tumble across the borderline. We can't go forward and we can't rewind. Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Just close your eyes.
Well, 5 holes in, it's not going very well. I've had 2 blobs and 3 bogeys, so it's the ball striking is absolutely terrible. I haven't really hit the middle of the club face yet. Lots and lots of toes, a couple of tops, a couple of fats. Driving's been terrible, short game's been terrible. Putting, unsurprisingly, has been good. Yeah, 3 months off is never a good idea, is it? But hey ho, we shall keep going. We've got 12 more holes to play. Let's see if we can find some rhythm.
Missing out. Are we missing out? Baby, I know it's just a matter of time before we tumble across the borderline. We can't go forward and we can't rewind. Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Hold on to something. If only a dream. Hold on to me. Better than nothing. How it really may seem. I'm gonna hold on. Hold on to you. Just close your eyes. I can't believe we've been through this for so long. Pressure is on. You better step up. Probably stop right in the stupid sound. Just close your eyes and you'll be fine. Such a short time being alive. All this hardship inconvenience.
Well, 14 holes in, and it's been erratic to say the least. It has got better, the golf. The scoring has certainly improved. I'm keeping things tidy with some better chipping, and obviously my putting keeps saving, but yeah, there's a lot of work to do before this golf game feels anywhere near where it did just before Christmas. But we've got 4 holes to go, the sun is still shining. Let's enjoy them last 4 holes.
Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Are we missing out? Are we missing out?
Okay, so there we go, the first round back after 3 months off, the first round of 2021, and it was so much fun to play with Ryan, to play with Dave, to play with Jack, to have a chat, just to see other human beings, just to be out there on the golf course was so much fun. The golf itself, well, that left a lot to be desired, and a lot of work needs to go into the practice and into more play in the very near future if I'm hoping to get back to where I was pre-Christmas. And of course, as always, the best way to figure out your plan and your projection going forwards is to look at the stats, and I use the TaylorMade My Round Pro app because it gives me strokes gained, which I think is a fantastic metric, and for me I use the benchmark of a 10 handicapper. So let's have a look at those stats for my round there of 94. Not the best, we'll go into that in a second, against the 10 handicapper. So let's first of all have a look at the scorecard, and if we look we'll see that my front nine of 50 there with 2 9s, which are the 2 holes where I picked up or didn't finish. I've given myself a 9 in the scoring app because that is definitely a non-scoring hole, and I use the penalty function to finish it up to a 9 so that it doesn't mess up my driving stats or my approach stats on the holes where I have actually finished. But anyway, moving into the back 9, and I came back in 44, so much improved. I didn't have any of those blob holes. I had a couple of double bogeys in there. I also had an amazing birdie on the 17th where I actually holed out from 100 yards under a tree, 7-iron, ran it up onto the green all the way into the hole. Amazing shot. Unfortunately not on camera, but there we go. The scorecard itself reads 94, but that doesn't really give us the full picture, so we have a look at the stats themselves. Looking at these strokes gained against that 10 handicap baseline, you can see that I averaged 4.00 on the par 3, so averaging a bogey. I averaged 5.1 on the par 4, so again just slightly over bogey, and 6.75 on the par 5, so definitely the par 5s doubly for me where I need to improve, because there are holes that I feel that I should be making par or possibly even birdies on those par 5s, and to average 1.75 over par on the par 5s really isn't a good place for me. So definitely work on par 5s. And then if we have a look further down this list here, you'll see the putting stats. I was minus 1.45 on the putting stats, so I 3-putted the last green, I 3-putted again earlier in the round, and I really didn't hole much. Now the greens themselves weren't amazing, it is obviously early season. We did see that huge bobble on that putt on the 10th where I rewound and then showed you in slow motion, and we can see it again here. That was a huge bobble, and that's one of those things that you just have to write off. These things do happen obviously on the golf course. My short game was really good, so my chipping kept me in. I gained almost a quarter of a shot against the 10 handicapper in the chipping department. My approach play from inside 100 yards was pretty much as a 10 handicapper should be, but my driving, again, losing 1.41 shots to a 10 handicapper every time that I hit a tee shot. Now, tee shots for me definitely is a big, huge improvement that needs to happen. I was very wayward off the tee. That then obviously didn't give me the opportunity to hit those approach shots onto the green, so that would be where those minus shots on the approach course. So for me, more balls in play off the tee and more greens in regulation are the huge improvements that I need to make. So we look down again at these classic stats. So 40% of fairways hit isn't really good enough, and 11% of greens in regulation is definitely not good enough by me for any stretch. Combine those two with 31 putts, that's where you see the high score that I had today. There we have it, the first round back, and from those stats I definitely need to improve my driving. I need to get on the launch monitor, have a little look at some proper club head data, which I obviously haven't been able to do in the last few months, and really work on seeing why those shots are going offline. I had a lot going off to the right with my tee shots. I didn't have too many go bail out massive to the left, which is usually my bad shot. So in terms of progression, I'm feeling like I'm getting there with the big left miss, which is the one I really want to eradicate. I also need to super work on my approach play. I need to hit far more greens in regulation to give my chipping and to give my putting just that little bit less emphasis, less pressure, because it is so difficult when you're always trying to chip and then hole a long putt for a par. You're just not going to be able to do it on the way around. As we saw, I only hit 11% of greens in regulation, so I really didn't give myself many birdie opportunities, and I do need to make a few birdies because I am going to have those bad holes. But golf is back. I am back on the golf course. So glad to be back playing, so glad to be back teaching. The spring is coming, summer season is nearly here, and yeah, everything is hopefully looking a lot more rosy in the garden. So as always, this was another episode of Project Left. My name's Simon. I hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy the content, well, maybe think about hitting that subscribe button, like the video, share it around with anyone else who you think might enjoy it, and we'll see you down here on the channel next time. Bye bye.